life lesson story. The garden bench that waited, a story about forgiveness, return, and the places that never give up on us. In a quiet suburban neighborhood, tucked behind a row of lilac bush, there was a little public garden few people visited. It wasn't famous, it wasn't large, but at the center of it stood a wooden bench, old but sturdy, with peeling white paint and a small metal plaque that read, "For those who need a moment before continuing." People often wondered who placed the bench there and why. But those who sat on it just for a breath, a cry, a laugh, or a memory felt something soft and reassuring, as if the bench itself understood them. No one understood this more deeply than a woman named Elara. Elara first sat on the bench when she was 16. Her parents had just divorced, her best friend had moved away, and she felt like the world had thrown her into a deep ocean without teaching her how to swim. As she cried quietly, a gentle breeze swept across the garden. The bench, warm in the afternoon sun, held her grief like an old friend. She whispered then, "I'll come back someday, when things are better." But someday didn't come soon. Years passed. Elara grew into adulthood. She moved out, found work, fell in love, made promises, and then watched everything fall apart again. Her relationship ended painfully. Her work became overwhelming. Her confidence dwindled. She stopped painting, stopped singing, stopped reaching out. Life became a race she no longer wanted to run. One evening, drained after another argument at home, she wandered into the streets without thinking. Her feet carried her through familiar corners, over quiet sidewalks, past dim street lamps, until she saw it. The garden, the lilac bush, the bench. It looked the same, weathered, waiting, as if it had been holding its breath for her return. She approached slowly and sat down. The moment she did, a memory washed over her. The 16-year-old version of herself crying right where she sat now. Different pain, same heart. She let out a long exhale, one she felt she had been holding for years. Minutes passed, then an hour. Then two. "It's been a while," a voice said gently from behind her. Elara turned. It was Mrs. Rowan, an elderly woman from the neighborhood. She had always tended the garden, watering the flowers, sweeping fallen leaves, repainting the fence. "You kept the garden alive," Elara whispered. The old woman smiled. "And the bench kept you alive." Elara blinked. "What do you mean?" Mrs. Rowan sat beside her. "People think this bench is old wood, but I call it a witness. It has seen hearts before they broke, after they healed, and while they learned how to beat again." Elara ran her fingers over the peeling paint. "I used to promise myself I'd come back here when life got better." "And did it?" Elle's voice cracked. "No, it got heavier." Mrs. Rowan touched her hand. "Then you came at the right moment." The next weeks became a quiet rhythm. Every evening after work, Elara returned to the bench. She journaled. She cried. She laughed at old memories. She watched sunsets drip gold through the lilacs. Sometimes Mrs. Rowan joined her. Sometimes she sat alone in silence. But each visit loosened a knot inside her. One evening, Mrs. Rowan brought a small paint can. "It's time," she said. "For what?" Elara asked. "To give the bench its first new coat in years." She handed Elara a brush. Together, they painted slowly, stroke by stroke, letting the old wood breathe again. Elara realized something. The bench wasn't waiting for people to be okay. It was waiting for them to allow themselves to begin again. When they finished, the bench glowed softly under the fading sunlight, a quiet symbol of renewal. Weeks later, Mrs. Rowan fell ill and was taken to the hospital. Elara visited her often, bringing flowers from the garden. One afternoon, Mrs. Rowan smiled weakly and said, "The garden will need a new caretaker soon." Elara's breath caught. "But I'm not ready." "No one ever is," the old woman whispered. "But the bench will help you. It always has." Mrs. Rowan passed peacefully that night. In spring, the lilacs bloomed brighter than in years. And every morning Elara watered the flowers, trimmed the branches, swept the path. She cleaned the plaque on the bench and added a new one underneath, in memory of Rowan, who tended the garden and the hearts within it. One afternoon, a teenage boy approached her, sitting hesitantly on the bench. His eyes red, his shoulders shaking. "Is it okay if I sit here?" he asked. Elara smiled warmly. "Yes," she said. "This bench is for moments like this." And as she sat beside him, she realized Mrs. Rowan was right. The garden didn't need a gardener. People did. Moral of the story: the places that once held us don't disappear, they wait. Healing isn't about going somewhere new, but returning to where your heart knows how to breathe again.